Alright, so this is a video on how to use SubstoSRS, which is a program that you see on my screen right here, to create flashcards in Anki based on YouTube videos to be able to study a foreign language. So first step is going to be to go to this site, SubstoSRS.sourceforge.net, or just search SubstoSRS in Google, get to it that way. And this contains some information that you can use to supplement your knowledge beyond this guide that I'm recording here. This is what I use to figure all this out. So definitely worth a read. So go ahead and download SubstoSRS. And it is a program that looks like this when you open it up. It has some other cool tools like extract audio from media and some other stuff like this. But we're going to focus just on the main flagship sort of product here, SubstoSRS. And for the purposes of this tutorial, the next thing you're going to need is a YouTube video that contains, well, a YouTube video that is natively in the language that you want to learn, your target language. So here I have a video that is in French. It is a French sort of comedy video game video, and there are also English subtitles available. You need a video that is in your target language with subtitles in your native language and also subtitles in the language of the video. Now you have to make sure that the video contains both, we'll just say English and French just to make this easier, but replaced with your languages. A video that is in French and also contains French written subtitles. You cannot use auto-generated subtitles. Somebody has to have created French subtitles for the French video and also English subtitles. You can use a website called captionpop.com to find such videos. You say, hey, I speak English and I want to learn French, so find me some videos. It'll come up and give you, that's basically how I found this channel, which I like, Jeu de Grenier. But it'll give you some channels that contain both French and English subtitles. You can also search something like confinement, which is a big topic these days, the quarantine. There we go. So there are some videos with English plus French subtitles on this subject that if I'm interested in, there we go, I found them. But here we go, I already have a video. So what you do is you find just a YouTube downloader. I mean, just go to Google and download YouTube videos. Find you a good, reliable site. I don't think this is technically allowed by YouTube, but I mean, it's really no big deal. It's a free video. A lot of people do this. It's not sketchy in my opinion. So you just copy and paste the URL into your YouTube downloader, download the video. See, I created a folder for this project that contains everything I need. So you create a folder. I've already downloaded it. Here's the video. Okay. I created an empty, well, it's not empty now, but it was an empty folder called media, that we'll get to later. And once your video is finished downloading, you copy and paste that URL into downsub.com or any such site where you can download the SRT files for a video. So it is gathering information on this video, and there we go. I have available for download SRT, which is what you want for SubstoSRS. It is a type of text file that contains timecode stamps. It parses it out into individual audio events with the captions that correspond with it. So you download both of these files and organize them into your folder right here with the video, French, English, and then these three things are what we are going to use to create our cards. So open up SubstoSRS, subtitle file in your target language, that in this case it would be French. So we would go to our folder that we created for this project and search our target language SRT file. And the directory where the generated files will be placed. That will be this media folder which I created. So you click on that, and it's empty. I've done this ahead of time, but it should be empty at this point for you. And then you go to the same place and select your native language subtitles, English. And finally, video. Here is the video that you downloaded from YouTube. And at this point, there are a few options which I will review now. Use timings from subs 1 is almost always what you're going to be doing unless you know otherwise, so just leave that. And also just leave these unchecked. Usually the SRT files are correct for this time shift, and we want the whole video. Generate audio clips and snapshots. You want to select either these two options or just this option. So what this does is it uses the media to create an audio file and snapshot here. It picks, it selects a picture with a little chunk from the video to correspond with the audio that it's extracting. So it's using these SRT timings to create a little snippet of audio, and it's giving you a little snapshot that's associated with that audio. And this is the configuration that I prefer. You can also create video decks that are a larger file size. They can be a little distracting, and they don't play very well in the desktop version of Anki. They work pretty well on your phone if you have the Anki iOS app. I don't know about Android, but for me, I find that that's kind of distracting. I prefer just audio and snapshot. So you also have to give a name to your deck and press preview. Never just press go. You always want to do preview, and that's going to create the cards. And you see it created 290 cards here. They call it episodes, and we're just going to click on one of these and preview audio to make sure that what he is saying is lining up with the French subtitle here.
Mais au final, le jeu lui-même est aussi fun qu'un mec bipolaire et dépressif.
There we go. So that matched up. So we do not need to go back into this pad timing section. It's an accurate SRT file. And then you press go. I'm not going to do that now. I've already done it ahead of time. But you press go, and it takes, for a 20-minute video, it takes about 2 minutes, I find. That's kind of the ratio of how long it takes, at least on my computer. And then when it's done, it'll pop up, and it'll say, it'll give you something you'll need to write down. It'll say, here are the fields that you need to associate with the tab separated values in Anki. So basically all you need to know at this point is when it's done, it'll say it created X number of cards, and here's field 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however many it is for you. And you're going to write those down, or get out your phone and take a picture of your screen, because you need that to create your Anki deck. The next step after that is finished, you're going to go into Anki, and just one time, I've already done this, you can make a bunch of decks based off this template after the one time that you add it. When you installed SubstoSRS, it came with an Anki deck template. So you're going to go to wherever you installed Anki, or excuse me, wherever you installed SubstoSRS. For me, I put it in here. And you'll see a folder called Anki Deck Template that came with the program. You open that up, and there's just a standard SubstoSRS template for Anki 2.apkg. You click on that to import it, and once you import that .apkg file, when you go to create deck, it'll have an options group for SRS, SubstoSRS. So I'm just going to create a redundant deck here just to show you the process. I've already done this ahead of time, but create, just call it Pac-Man, and here we go. Now for this deck, we're going to need options, And the options group default is not what we want. We want video SRS deck, which is what I went in and renamed that SRS Anki file that came with SRS. So, okay. And then, just a couple more steps. We're going to import now under that media folder, remember that media folder, we told SubstoSRS to put all of our media into this one folder right here. And it did that. It separates it into the snapshots and the audio files. Ignore what I just did. That was dumb. So import, so here is all the media in this media folder. But the thing that we want to import is this tab separated values file. That is, see what it's doing here is it's telling it to look for these. This is the tag and the sequence marker, and it's telling it to match up all these things to create a card. So that's what we're going to do. Click on TSV after you click on import. And this is the part I was telling you about where you needed to write down or take a picture of the information it gives you after you create the media with the SubstoSRS program. The first field, I believe, it's just depending on what it tells you, but it's tags, sequence marker, audio, snapshot, and then expression and meaning. In your pop-up it'll say subs 1 and subs 2. Subs 1 is the expression, that is what they're saying in the video in the native language of the video, and then meaning is from the perspective of you in your native language what that means, which is subs file number 2. So import, and then there we go, we created 290. Well, we didn't in this case because I've already done this, but that is all you need to do to create the deck. But when you go into the deck, you're going to have a problem because it will come up with these decks that don't contain any media. And here's the part that I really had to dig down into, and it's going to be helpful for you to have watched this video. I didn't find this information easily anywhere. I had to kind of piece this together myself. You got to copy and paste this media file. So we told SubstoSRS to save all this media here. Okay. We got to copy and paste all this stuff and put it into a specific folder that Anki is looking into in order to play media out of these flashcards. And that syncs across Anki Web. So once you do this and press synchronize, this media will become available like on iOS, for example. If you have the Anki app that is synchronized to your Anki Web account, it'll be able to access this media. So you go to your, I don't know if this is the same on Mac, but you go to your Windows username here, app data, it's under roaming, and if you're on Mac and this is different, consult Anki's documentation to find the Anki media folder. Anki 2, I'm assuming it's similar in a sense. User 1 is usually what you're going to see in Anki unless you change your username in Anki. And the collection media. This is where Anki is looking at to get all of the sound bites and pictures and everything that you have in all of your decks across all of your platforms is contained in here. And they're just going to paste all of that we copied from the media folder that we created with SubstoSRS. We're going to paste it into that Anki media collection folder. And once we do that, it will then be able to use the information in that tab, separated values. If you've done everything correctly, you should then see
Une toute nouvelle année venait juste de commencer.
Everything you need to study some new sentences. So this is a pretty cool tool where you can learn a lot of cool stuff and start to sound really natural, and it's just really cool. Now one more thing, that should be everything you need, but sometimes these SRT files, they don't play nicely with SubstoSRS. SubstoSRS sometimes has a problem with these things, and it says to do the following. For this optional step, if you find that SubstoSRS is having trouble with your SRT files, you need to download a program called Aegis Sub. You install this program, and then you set it as the default program to open SRT files. So here are the SRT files. You see that weird looking little symbol there. If I click on that, it opens in Aegis Sub, and you tell it to open UTF encoding. And here we go. You can see that it has parsed out the data from that SRT file into these events. All is working well. So sometimes it doesn't work well, and this kind of helps it. You want to save it as something called Advanced Substation Alpha.ass, and these .ass files, they play nicer with SubstoSRS for a reason that I don't really understand, to be honest. But you really only have to do this step if you have problems with the SRT files, which I've run into before. And again, I can't really explain what's going on there. I just know that that's the workaround for if your SRT files are having problems. So that should be everything you need to make some sweet decks. You see I have a lot of cool decks here that I've used with this method, and I've learned a lot of cool stuff that way. So I hope that you will be able to use this guide to make some cool stuff.